It was 1973, nearly 50 years ago, when the Supreme Court issued Roe versus Wade. That landmark decision determined the Constitution protects a woman's right to an abortion at least in the first trimester. Now, the case struck down many state and federal abortion laws that were considered to cause an undue burden, but that ruling was not the final word. This morning, we're going to go to the CBS News archives to review the history of Roe v. Wade and the conflict that has lasted for decades.
Hundreds of thousands of women, married and unmarried, are desperately seeking to end their pregnancies.
I figure that I have one child, I should do the best I can for that child, rather than having two not being able to.
I don't feel very good about it, but it's something I had to do.
A child in the womb has rights and needs the protection of law.
In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions.
Other opponents are now talking of a constitutional amendment to reverse today's ruling.
We gather here today on the first anniversary of one of the blackest days in the history of American jurisprudence.
I think the pro-life movement is kind of flexing its muscles.
Murder is murder.
When a teenager here in Indiana decides she wants an abortion but can't tell her parents, she generally makes the 110-mile trip to Kentucky.
She died as a result of a botched illegal abortion.
People in general are going to start voting on abortion.
We are simply telling the awful truth that little baby boys and girls are being dismembered.
Keep your hands off our right to choose.
While many have condemned this campaign to frighten doctors and clinic directors, the truth is, said one doctor today, it's working.
Abortion has long been a sensitive issue in this country. It has divided Americans for decades and has recently sparked intense debate over organizations like Planned Parenthood.
The suspect in the deadly siege of a Planned Parenthood clinic is due in a few hours to make his first court appearance.
Threats of violence and actual violence against the justices, of course, strike at the heart of our democracy.
Do you want to see the court overturn Roe v. Wade?
Well, if we put another 2 or perhaps 3 justices on, that's really what's going to be, that will happen.
Roe v. Wade is an important precedent of the Supreme Court.
Oklahoma is the latest state to move closer to restricting abortion access.
I was raped, and I was 19.
Abortion is murder, and I feel that way, period.
Other states, like Indiana, Nebraska, are considering similar laws.
50 years of progress being undone will not be accepted.
Spreading fallout from that stunning, and stunning is a word, Supreme Court leak of a draft opinion that suggests that Roe v. Wade is set to be overturned.
And there you have it.
Here we are in 2022. The history is long when you look at how long we've been discussing it. The people thought that this day would never happen. It seemed unthinkable, and yet here we are in 2022.
Nearly a 50-year fight to get to this moment. And now people are saying it's going to be another 50-year fight for there to be a change. People also talk about minority rule, about unelected judges. We've got 80 million people who don't vote at all. This is the result.